It's that time of the year again. With the 4th of July right around the corner, I know there is one specific thing that so many of you watching are incredibly worried about right now. You know exactly what the night is going to look like. When the sun goes down and suddenly, boom, the sky shakes. You look down at your dog and their eyes are wide with terror. They are panting heavily, shaking uncontrollably, pacing the living room, and trying to hide in the darkest corner of your closet. For them, it feels like the world is ending. For you, as a loving pet parent, it is absolute torture to watch your best friend suffer, knowing you can't just explain to them that it's only a celebration. But what if you didn't have to watch them suffer? What if I told you there is a specific, science-backed protocol you can do exactly 1 hour before the fireworks start that will act as a neurological shield for your dog's brain, allowing them to literally sleep through the explosions? Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian. The 4th of July, New Year's Eve, and severe thunderstorms are the absolute worst nights of the year to be a dog. In fact, more dogs run away and end up in animal shelters on the 4th of July than any other day of the year. The panic is real and the danger is real. But it doesn't have to be this way. Today, we are doing a complete masterclass on canine noise phobia. I'm going to teach you exactly why dogs are so terrified of fireworks, the massive mistakes owners make that actually make the anxiety worse, and my ultimate countdown to calm protocol. We will cover what to do days before, the morning of, and finally, the magical 1 hour before veterinary secret. So hit that subscribe button to protect your pets, and let's dive right in. Chapter 1. The biology of noise phobia. Before we can cure the fear, we have to understand it. Let's start with the biology of noise phobia. Why are dogs so uniquely terrified of fireworks? You might think it's just because the noise is loud, but for a dog, a firework is a multi-sensory nightmare. First, we have their hearing. A dog's hearing is about 4 times more sensitive than a human's. They can hear frequencies that are completely silent to us. When a firework goes off, to a dog, the volume and the sharpness of the frequency are literally deafening. Second, they feel the barometric pressure drops and the physical vibrations in the ground. Their paws are loaded with nerve endings. Every time a mortar explodes in the sky, the vibration travels through the earth and directly into their skeletal system. To them, it feels like an earthquake. And third, their nose. A dog's sense of smell is millions of times stronger than ours. They can smell the sulfur and gunpowder in the air miles away. When you combine deafening, unpredictable noise, ground tremors, and the smell of burning sulfur, your dog's primal brain signals one thing: we are under attack and we are going to die. Their amygdala, the fear center of the brain, floods their body with cortisol and adrenaline. They are having a literal panic attack. Let's think about what this actually looks like in the real situation. A completely calm dog is laying peacefully on the rug. Suddenly, a neighbor sets off a firecracker. Instantly, the dog leaps up, tucks their tail tight between their legs, flattens their ears, and tries to wedge their entire body underneath a small bed or behind the toilet. Their body has been completely hijacked by their flight or fight response. At this moment, your dog is no longer capable of logical thought. They cannot learn, they cannot be reasoned with, and they cannot simply calm down. Now that you know they are in a state of absolute physiological terror, we need to talk about the biggest mistakes owners make trying to comfort them. Chapter 2. Human mistakes. Because unfortunately, human psychology often backfires on dogs. Mistake number 1, the "it's okay" trap. When a dog starts shaking and panting during fireworks, our natural human instinct is to drop to the floor, wrap our arms around them, and say in a high-pitched, worried voice, "Oh, you poor baby, it's okay, mommy's here, don't be scared, it's okay." Please stop doing this. Remember, dogs do not understand English. They understand energy and tone. When you speak in a high-pitched, worried, frantic tone, your dog doesn't hear comfort. They hear panic. They think, wow, my strong human leader is acting panicked and erratic right now. This situation must be incredibly dangerous. By trying to coddle them in a state of worry, you are validating their fear and accidentally making their panic attack 10 times worse. Mistake number 2, taking them outside. Do not take your dog to the fireworks show to show them it's safe. That is called flooding, and it causes massive permanent trauma. Furthermore, never let your dog out in your backyard off-leash during the 4th of July weekend. When that survival flight response kicks in, a normally obedient dog will scale a 6-foot fence, dig under a gate, or slip out of a collar to escape the noise. Always leash them for bathroom breaks, even in a fenced yard, until the holiday weekend is over. Now that we know what not to do, let's talk about the solution. Chapter 3. Days before. Beating firework anxiety is all about preparation. Let's start our countdown to calm. Here is what you need to do starting 3 to 5 days before the fireworks. The goal days before the event is to slowly desensitize the brain. Go to YouTube on your TV or connect your phone to a Bluetooth speaker and search for loud firework sounds. Hit play, but turn the volume down extremely low, so low that it is barely a background murmur. While those low rumbles are playing, start doing your dog's favorite things. Play tug of war. Give them incredibly high-value treats, like bits of plain cooked chicken or a spoonful of peanut butter. Practice their obedience tricks. If they ignore the sound and focus on you, praise them calmly. Every day leading up to the 4th, increase the volume just a tiny fraction, while continuing to give high-value rewards. Safety note: if your dog shows any signs of distress, like pacing, panting, or whining, even at the lowest volume, turn it off immediately. You are moving too fast and could accidentally make their phobia worse. What you are doing here is rewiring their neurological pathways. You are unlinking the sound of fireworks from the emotion of terror and linking it to the emotion of joy and food. You are teaching their brain, oh, that rumbling sound just means the chicken is about to come out. It builds a baseline of resilience. Now, let's move the countdown to the morning of the fireworks. Your goal for this entire morning and early afternoon is singular: exhaustion. A tired dog is a calm dog. It is biologically impossible to maintain a high-level panic attack if the muscles and the brain have zero energy left in reserve. If you know the fireworks start at 8 p.m., take your dog for the longest, most physically demanding walk or hike you safely can early in the morning before it gets too hot outside. Let them run, let them fetch, and most importantly, let them sniff. 15 minutes of intense sniffing burns as many mental calories as an hour of running. Do puzzle games, hide their kibble around the house, and make them search for it. Drain their energy banks entirely. If they are already exhausted and ready for a deep sleep by dinner time, the evening explosions are going to have a much harder time waking up their nervous system. And now we reach the most critical part of this entire masterclass. Chapter 4, the 1-hour pre-fireworks shield, the magic hour. What exactly do you do 1 hour before the fireworks start? 60 minutes before the sky lights up, we are going to build a 4-part comfort shield. Step 1 of the shield is the biological dampener. If you are going to use natural calming supplements or veterinary prescribed anxiety medication, you must give it to them exactly 1 to 2 hours before the fireworks start. This is where almost everyone fails. Owners wait until the dog is already shaking and hiding under the bed, and then they try to give them a calming chew or a pill. By that time, the dog's bloodstream is already flooded with adrenaline and cortisol. The medication is trying to fight a raging fire, and it won't work. You must give the supplement before the spark happens, while the dog is still completely calm. That way, the calming agents block the adrenaline receptors from ever firing in the first place. If you want to use a natural option from your kitchen, you can brew a strong cup of pure chamomile tea. Chamomile contains apigenin, a natural compound that binds to the exact same brain receptors as anti-anxiety medications to induce sleepiness. Let it cool down completely and mix a few tablespoons into their food. Crucial warning: never give chamomile to pregnant dogs as it can cause complications. But if your dog suffers from severe level 10 panic, do not rely on a kitchen hack, and please do not reach for human Benadryl. A lot of owners think Benadryl calms a dog down, but as a vet, I need to tell you the truth. Benadryl only sedates them physically. It does nothing to stop the actual chemical fear firing in their brain. It essentially paralyzes them so they are still completely terrified inside, but unable to move. For dogs with severe phobias, call your vet a week early and ask for a modern, targeted noise aversion medication like Ciliogel. Cilio works miracles to quiet the brain's panic center, but remember, it is an oromucosal gel. You must rub it directly onto your dog's gums or inside their cheek. Do not let them swallow it like a pill, or it gets deactivated in the stomach and won't work. Give this dose an hour early. Step 2 of our 1-hour shield is deep pressure therapy. You may have seen commercial products like the Thunder Shirt, which are fantastic. But why do they work? It goes back to biology. Applying constant, gentle squeezing pressure around a dog's torso targets their parasympathetic nervous system. It releases a hormone called oxytocin and grounds them, similar to how swaddling a crying human baby puts them to sleep. If you don't have a Thunder Shirt, you can take a simple ACE bandage or a stretchy scarf, wrap it across their chest, cross it over their shoulders, and gently tie it under their belly. Leave this on them for the evening. Step 3 is creating the safe den. 1 hour before the noise, close all the blinds and draw all the curtains in the house. We need to block the sudden flashes of light which trigger the visual startle reflex. Find the most interior, windowless room in your house, usually a bathroom or a walk-in closet. Put their favorite bed in there with your unwashed t-shirt so they have your comforting scent. Now, here is a secret trick grooming professionals use to block the high-frequency sounds: the cotton ball earplug. Take a large, puffy, 100% natural cotton ball and gently place it just inside the outer flap of your dog's ear opening. Do not use tiny cotton pieces or Q-tips that can slide deep into the ear canal. It should sit loosely right at the opening to dampen those sharp cracking sounds. Just make an absolute mental note to count them and remove both cotton balls the second the fireworks are over for the night. But the true secret to the safe den is blocking out the frequency. Do not turn on the TV or the radio to drown out the noise. The unpredictable pitches in TV shows can actually heighten anxiety. Instead, use brown noise. Brown noise is a specific frequency of sound, much deeper and thicker than white noise, that biologically drowns out low rumbling frequencies like fireworks and thunder. Play brown noise from a speaker in their safe room. And finally, step 4. This is the ultimate distraction hack. Exactly 45 minutes before the fireworks begin, while your dog is in their den, wearing their pressure wrap, feeling the calming supplement, and listening to the brown noise, you give them the dopamine bomb. Then take a heavy rubber toy like a Kong or a textured silicone lick mat. Fill it with a mixture of plain Greek yogurt, smashed bananas, and a little unsalted peanut butter. But look at your ingredient labels very carefully. Make absolutely sure your peanut butter and yogurt contain 0 xylitol, which brands are now starting to list as birch sugar. Xylitol is a sugar-free substitute that is highly toxic and completely fatal to dogs, even in tiny amounts. Prepare this treat the day before and freeze it rock solid. When you hand your dog a rock-hard frozen treat, they have to lay down and lick it for 45 minutes straight to get the food out. The physical, repetitive act of licking releases massive amounts of endorphins and dopamine directly into your dog's brain. Dopamine is the feel-good hormone. It literally overrides the cortisol stress hormone. By giving them this difficult, highly rewarding puzzle right before the booms start, they are too focused on getting the frozen treat, and their brain is too flooded with endorphins to trigger a panic attack. Now the fireworks have started. You have executed